previously on the Bottom Line with Boost, have your mouth set on something, and then when you bite it, it ain't good. But I damn sure ain't ugly. Nobody's doing anything but minding their own business. I share my life because people need to know that they're not alone and that you might have a mishap. This is real life. Hang in there. Make sure you get caught up on all previous vlogs where I talk about real life, everyday living, mental health, how to navigate, and just let's get real and heal because we all need each other. Let's see what's going on today. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you.
As a kid, I never really understood the reason why my mom behaved the way she behaved after she got off from work. I don't want to hear shit when I get off from work. I don't want to hear no noise, don't ask me no questions. Don't even call me after I get off from work. I couldn't imagine coming home to two badass kids talking about what we finna eat after I got off from work. I just couldn't imagine it. I just got off from work today, and I want nothing more to come home to a quiet house. I don't even want nobody to say, how was your day at work? That's just how long my day was. My mom used to hide in the car when she got off from work and just listen to music. I used to be like, why is she doing that? I just got out of the car. I've been in there for 30 minutes trying to conjure up the energy and the mic to go in the house. Because it's just like, that's all I can say about my day at work. Like, I'm tired. Like, don't ask me no questions. Don't even speak to me. I don't got time for that. It takes me about 2 to 3 hours to adjust. And by that time, it's time to go to bed. Don't come fuck with me after I got off from work.
You know, I was listening to another YouTuber commentary earlier. It was basically 3 black females that had rift with one another. Well, 2 had rift with another one. Long story short, something she said that is very true. I know it to be true because I have experienced it. I've seen it. I've been a part of it, all of that throughout the course of my life. And we know it to be true. She said that collectively within the black community, black women specifically, we have to quit being bullies amongst each other. You know, that real aggressive behavior that we have with one another. Like, I'm going to show her I ain't the one and who you messing with and all that. There's always going to be somebody better than you. But there comes a point in life to where we got to get past all that level of aggression. And that is true. You know, we can say we advocate and we ride or die for black women, and the very ones that we speak out and be a voice for are the ones that we ostracize and bully at their most vulnerable time. They don't speak up and they suffer silently. We got to learn how to replace that aggression and that bullying with compassion and love for one another. It's so necessary. I said it before and I say it again. I need you. You need me. We need each other. And then that's our truth, no matter what you believe or not. Believe that. We need each other, my friend. So come on in without all that aggression and let's love on each other. This feels so much better. Anyway, we got business to tend to.
Schools released an edited video showing an attempted kidnapping at an elementary school in Aurora. Parents get a briefing on this incident today. Now, the suspect, Solomon Galligan, has a long criminal history, but also a long history of mental health problems. His family also believes that the system has failed in this case. And that is where we begin our team coverage for you tonight. Tori Mason, your reporter in Aurora, and Tori, parents have been pushing the district for answers.
Answers and accountability. This has parents all over shaken up. It's just a reminder that these things can happen. Now, how this happened and who's going to be held responsible are what parents want to know now. Surveillance cameras caught the terrifying moment, an attempted kidnapping at school. Solomon Galligan is seen approaching students and lunging at a child before falling down. Parents have now seen what their kids experienced.
It was hard. It was really hard.
Dante White's child was there.
We hope that children embellish a little bit, but the footage there showed.
He watched the video with other families directly impacted at a meeting with the superintendent and district officials.
They did admit fault. They did apologize. And now next steps are to schedule a secondary meeting, right? Because we prescribed a couple of items that we wanted done.
Among the requests are safety training, more fencing, and new surveillance equipment. They're calling for an independent investigation.
This is a prime example of cause and effect. Parents are getting involved. holding the district accountable, doing follow-ups, making sure people have the proper training, new processes in place. We have to implement like behaviors in our community. We are so busy minding our own business or telling other people to mind their own business and not getting involved culturally. We are losing at a major cost. You have this gentleman that has clearly been diagnosed with mental health issues, wandering the streets and attacking children. Is it his fault? Who's at fault? One thing I know, we cannot continue to look the other way. It's time to get involved and be aware, because quite frankly, your life could depend on it. Washed my hair yesterday. I gotta go to the doctor. Occupational therapy today. I ain't never been to occupational therapy. What that is, because I don't. I bought this book for me, but I also bought it for you. And we got to talk about these things. Let's learn something together. Make this life a little bit better. Sound like a plan? Wonderful. We have the ways forward already. What I have found is that those who have a sense of spirituality and are connected to what it means to be Black in a positive way are less likely to consider suicide than those who do not have a positive sense of their cultural identity. I am not exactly sure why it is, but I have my suspicions that are based upon my own research and that of others. In one study, I found that African Americans who believed that God was in control of life were less likely to consider suicide. I suspect that if you believe that God and not you is in control of life, that means that you do not have the option to take your own life. I am not suggesting that Black people do not experience hopelessness. Note that some age groups have relatively high suicide attempt rates. Gen Z are the leaders in that. However, I am suggesting that some will experience significant hopelessness but not see suicide as a solution. In another study, I found a direct connection between culture and the type of religion or non-religious coping that African Americans use. In this study, African Americans who relied on their own ability rather than prayer or other religious activity were more likely to consider suicide. Not surprisingly, those who relied on their own ability were also more likely to report Eurocentric beliefs. That is, there are ways of experiencing the world that are consistent with a more African-centered approach or a more Eurocentric approach, spirituality and faith in that which cannot be seen in Afrocentric. Materialism and competition are more Eurocentric. Those who consistently disconnect the spirituality and African-centeredness seem to be increasingly at risk in our society. The increasing suicide rates for Black children, teenagers, and young adults may reflect a cultural shift away from spirituality and positive cultural identity, and thus the imminent breakdown of psychological resilience in the Black community. In chapters 7 and 8, I talk about the cultural and spiritual guideposts that have protected many Black people from suicide in more detail. If we consider suicide to be the end of the emotional distress spectrum, and we know, at least suspect, that our cultural identities and spiritual connectedness have saved a number of us from the brink, we ought to also consider their power to help with lesser, more common forms of mental and emotional disease. So anyway, today's a new day. It's getting warmer outside and it's just feels better. Anxiety ain't no joke. You can just feel nervous for no reason, trying to overcome that, because that ain't fun. It ain't fun at all. And you know I just turned 50. I shared those tulips my friend from childhood sent me. I just found out the other day her 2 grown young daughters' father took his own life. It's a sad case. Now you have 2 girls that will live the rest of their life without their father. These realities are closer to you than you may believe. Thanks for watching.